All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thursday night football. I think we got a good game on our hands here. We have Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucs, 1.5 point dogs at home, hosting Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Here, total right now is 45 points. We got 3 plays that I want to jump into today, 2 of which are plus money plays, so I'm very excited to get into it, guys. But before we do that, I'm gonna ask you guys to hit that subscribe button and like the video as well. We've gotten a bunch of likes on our Thursday night football video, so I don't think that this goal that I'm gonna set is gonna be too crazy. But if we get 100 likes on this video, I will start next Thursday night football video off by shotgunning a beer right here, live recording. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. And who knows where a show could go when we started off with a beer shotgun. So make sure to hit that like button, guys. And also use hashtag ride of the day in the comments if you think you have a play that is an absolute lock. I may be jumping on board with one person in the comments. But guys, let's jump right into this here. We do have the Bucs again, 1.5 point dogs here at home. Total is 45 points. I don't necessarily like anything when it comes to a spread pick on this game, if I'm being completely honest. If anything, I guess I lean Tampa Bay because I expect a Tom Brady led team has to bounce back after an abysmal performance against the Panthers. They only scored 3 points, obviously no touchdowns, and lost by near 20 points. So I think that, obviously, you assume a bounce back's gonna happen, but I'm not betting on a bounce back. So I would lean Tampa Bay getting the points here. I think they have the stronger defense. I think that they have some weapons on offense that if they click, they can beat anybody. But we really haven't seen that throughout this season whatsoever. So I'm sticking away from a spread on this one, but I would lean Tampa Bay just by a hair, though. I don't think I'm putting any of my own money on it. But that reminds me, guys, make sure to keep an eye on the pinned comment. All final plays will be added there. The player props that we're going to get into today's video are final plays, so you can assume that those are final. But in any ads, like if we turn this lean of the Tampa Bay Bucs plus 1.5 into a play, that'll be in the pinned comment. But our first play here is going to be Leonard Fournette over 48.5 rushing yards. And before you're like, what are you doing, Ev? What are you doing? Leonard Fournette stunk out loud last week. He absolutely did, and I agree with you. But who didn't? Who didn't stink on that team? Leonard Fournette, 19 yards last week on the ground. And from an offensive snaps perspective, he only was on the field for 60% of the snaps. He had 8 rushes. That was an absolute letdown week. I can give you that. But I do think that we see a little bit of a bounce back here, and I'll tell you why in just a second, but I will talk about the line here as of right now. I was able to get this at 48.5. Guys, I've seen this on other books at 50, 51.5. I'll say right now, if you only have 51.5 in whatever books you have access to or what legalities you're under and that type of thing, I still pull the trigger at 51.5. I haven't seen it above that, so safe to assume it's going to be right around there, but I'd probably play this up to 52.5 or so. I did take the jump on it early approach and got it at 48.5, which I'm very excited about because it's also for even odds. So whoever was crunching the numbers over here going beep, boop, bop, boop, beep, may have made a mistake and we're capitalizing on it. But so we have this at 48.5 for plus 100 odds, even odds. But back to Leonard Fournette in this one. Again, I got lucky with this odds, I think, unless, it's going to move down or anything like that. But I would still play it at 51.5. But again, Leonard Fournette, I think that we're going to see something closer to what he had been trending towards. He had been trending well. A couple weeks ago against Atlanta, 56 yards on 14 rushes. And then the next week, 21 carries against Pittsburgh for 63 yards. Then we saw the letdown last week. So I can give you that, he necessarily isn't trending in the right direction. But if we scrap last week, we started to see a more and more productive Leonard Fournette. So I will say that I'm banking on a little bit more of a sample size, the 2 weeks prior to last week, as a catalyst here versus what we saw last week. I don't think we see that Tampa Bay offense that we saw last week, so I'm willing to forget that and roll with this. And then I looked into Leonard Fournette on Thursday nights. Now, he's had some damn good Thursday night football games in the past, but most specifically when he got the reins after, you know, obviously when he first went to Tampa Bay, and then last year it was the Ronald Jones show, or 2 years ago, whenever it was at this point. Once Leonard Fournette really did start to get the bulk of the workload there, they had a Thursday night game, October 14th against the Philadelphia Eagles. Leonard Fournette, 22 attempts and 81 yards in that one. So Leonard Fournette showed up in prime time in a game that I expect to be fairly similar to this one, a close scoring game. The Bucs won that one 28-22. Now, I don't think this game necessarily gets that high from a points perspective. Actually, I don't have the biggest read on the points. As of right now, my model in this game has the total going 43, little too close to comfort, so I'm not pulling the trigger on that one. But nonetheless, the point stands that Leonard Fournette, his last Thursday night game, he did play really well. Now, we talk about Leonard Fournette a lot. Let's look at the Ravens defense here. This Ravens defense, I can admit it's getting a bit better than what we saw probably in the first, I don't know, 2-3 weeks of the season. They're getting better. In fact, their DVOA from a defensive perspective here, they're 12th overall in the league, which is obviously top half and isn't too terrible, but that's in large part due to their pass defense, which has moved all the way up to 8th in the entire league when it comes to a DVOA perspective. Their run defense is still pretty tough. I mean, ranked 23rd here, and we've seen running backs run all over Baltimore as of late. In fact, all season long. Just to run through them: Nick Chubb last week, 91 yards. Saquon the week before, 83. Mixon the week before, 78. Singletary hit his over. He had 49 yards. Ramondre Stevenson, 73 yards. Raheem Mostert hit his over. He had 51 yards. And then on opening day, Michael Carter ran for 60 yards on this team. So the Ravens haven't been able to stop the run yet. I like a motivated Leonard Fournette, a motivated Tom Brady and Tampa Bay offense versus a Baltimore defense that 1000% has some gaps in it. So that is going to be our first play of the game. Before we get into the rest of the play, guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the sponsor of the show, Sportsline. If you guys have been watching every video, you've heard me talk about it. Sportsline is an amazing place to start your sports betting research. They simulate each and every game, not only for the NFL like we're talking about today, but for NBA, MLB, NHL, college football, all that good stuff, guys. They simulate each and every game 10,000 times, so you get a predicted score, you get a projected box score, all data-driven information here. They also have Vegas experts on the sites giving their picks as well. So head over to Sportsline, guys. Use the link in the description and use promo code GUYBOSTON, GUYBOSTON at checkout, and you can get 3 months of Sportsline. 3 months of Sportsline for just $4.99. It's usually a $25 value here, but all right, let's jump back into it. Our second play of the day is going to be the kicker. We're using the leg in this one. Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals made. Simply put here, this is a recipe for success when it comes to field goal kicking for the Ravens. And just to be clear, on a lot of books, you'll see Baltimore kicker over 1.5 field goals. That is what the technical play is. But I guess we kind of cover ourselves here with that, just in case Justin Tucker, for whatever reason, gets injured or something like that. It is Baltimore as a team overall field goals. So just keep that in mind and pull the trigger on that if you have that. But guys, Justin Tucker, this is just a perfect recipe. I think that this Tampa Bay defense, which is pretty legit. Now, the offense has been shaky. We've seen them struggle at times, but that defense has 1, talent on it, and 2, can make lives living hell for opposing offenses here. So I think that this Tampa Bay defense is going to put Baltimore in a lot of field goal positions, and Justin Tucker is the guy for the job to knock those in. In fact, he's hit this in 4 straight weeks, and you know that they're going to be aggressive, pulling the trigger on him. This isn't like, you know, we don't really care if he misses 1 and makes 2, that type of thing. This isn't a percentage play. If they're going to, you know, unload him like a machine gun, you might as well pull the trigger here. So Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals made is our second play of the day. Our third play of the day, now this one is another plus money one here. Mark Andrews anytime touchdown score. Now, it's not too much of a plus money. I've seen this on books anywhere from plus 110 to plus 136. If you can get it in the 130s, pull the trigger on that. I think that you're going to get plus money no matter where you look, but obviously the better odds, the better for your bankroll there. But Mark Andrews, anytime TD score. I think that they're really creative in how they use him in the red zone. Now, it's slowed down just a little bit as of late. I believe in the last 3 weeks, he only has a couple red zone targets, but prior to that, he was getting red zone target after target. He got 5 touchdowns on the year. And in the last 3 games, even though they're not targeting him as much as they were at the beginning of the year, he still has 2 touchdowns in the last 3 games here. So I think that this is great value. And then for what it's worth, the stat here is that Tampa Bay is the 12th worst team in the league when it comes to allowing tight end touchdowns this season. So bottom half of the league in terms of allowing tight ends here to score. I don't know if we put too much weight into that. Mark Andrews, I don't think he needs to rely on stats or defensive holes or anything like that. He's a damn good player. Let's just hope Lamar Jackson gets the train back on the tracks from a passing perspective, and you know his favorite target's going to be there, and that is Mark Andrews. But that is all I have for you guys today. Make sure to run up that like button, and we'll be shotgunning next video, guys. We'll see if it happens, but hopefully we do cash, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.